show is not suitable for children, sensitive men, or insecure women. Can you trust somebody that doesn't take care of their kids?
I don't trust no man on earth that does not take care of their children.
What's the biggest red flag in a relationship?
Low effort and not being honest.
Most of the time, you would think that a bad financial mistake would be spending money on clothes or vacation or like spending money on women. My worst financial mistake was buying a home.
Game time. Game time. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah.
We back. Happy Wednesday.
Let's get it. True indeed. We back, man. Another glorious blackout.
Mm-hmm.
We got special guest 19 Keys coming on in a little bit.
Always amazing when my guys here. Kudos.
For sure, for sure. So, man, we're not gonna waste too much time, but do remember tomorrow earn your leisure at 6 o'clock. We got Dave and Song from the Squire app, $700 million valuation.
Incredible.
For the company. So they're gonna be coming and talking about everything, you know, as far as running the business and raising money and the whole 9 yards. Do remember EYL University. I had my call earlier today. Shout out to everybody that joined that. Troy's options call is tomorrow. See, I got the varsity jacket.
I see you. Yep.
Very rare.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody that took part in the Market Mondays Black Friday deal, the first part that involves the NVIDIA. I said this on Market Mondays. I'll say it again today. We split the groups up into two different groups, Group A and Group B. Group A, emails were sent yesterday. Check your emails, check your inboxes, check your spam.
Mm-hmm.
You must reply to the email to say if you can make it or you cannot make it. And if you can't make it, we'll send you the video. If you can make it, you have to respond. If you read the email, there's a button to push that says I can make it.
Mm-hmm.
And then another email will be given with all of the information as far as, you know, exact location and everything like that. But the email has the time and the date. So, you know, you can pencil that in, the city, all that. You can pencil that in. If you did not get an email, that means you're in Group B. And that means that your date is different. And that means that you will be getting an email sometime next week.
Yes.
All right. And we will be giving information for the DC Mastermind in the next week also. So stay tuned. Ian, any announcements that you would like to make?
Yeah, I'm off for the rest of the year. So no matter what happens in the market, I'll put it in Telegram. No more calls for the rest of the year. I will be putting in Gym of the Day. If NVIDIA falls 89%, I will report on it live in my brain. I'll see you in January. I deserve to get a break. So I'm going to take it now. I'll be back the first Tuesday of January for Stock Club. Love y'all. Amazing call. The replay is posted in Telegram now. Thank you to everyone who joined. Prices will be out December 28th, so don't worry about that. But as far as chatting, mano y mano, see you January. Love y'all. Recharge time.
That's it.
Yeah.
All right, man. We're going to get into it. We got a lot to talk about. First, I want to start off. I watched a movie yesterday. I don't really watch too many movies, but I did watch the House of Gucci.
Okay.
Man, that was insightful. Did you watch that?
No, I haven't seen it.
I think, yeah, Lady Gaga, Al Pacino.
Okay.
Very good movie. Extremely insightful. I didn't know the full history of the Gucci situation. Did you know the full history of Gucci?
No, tell me. Mm-mm.
Well, so it was started by two brothers. And then I'll just give like the abbreviated version. It started by two brothers and the sons, each brother has a son. One son is like very like incompetent. Mm-hmm. The other son is a lawyer, but kind of very timid. Meets a girl. The girl kind of, you know, manipulates the finagles it, kind of gets in his head, forces him to kind of, without telling the whole story.
No, tell us. Come on. Spoil it. Because some of y'all need to learn this lesson right before
Business
Christmas.
wars for sure. So they, you know, His father ends up dying. The uncle gets cut out the business. They ratted on him, went to jail. The other his cousin, they ciphered him off the business, and they strategically got everybody out the way. And then
because of the wife,
she
so
planted
she's
the seed.
Gucci ginger.
Yeah, she planted the seeds, but then he ended up, doing the 180 on her. He flipped on her, and then it goes to the point where everybody gets cut out the whole situation. Like I said, without telling the whole entire thing, everybody gets cut out of the situation. It's a family business. Gucci is a family business. The name Gucci is somebody's last name. It started as a family business. The brothers, the sons, the wife, everybody's involved, and it ends with it being today a publicly traded company, and not one person named Gucci works for Gucci. So that's a real interesting case study in business, man. Like how cutthroat it can be. They talked about Tom Ford when Tom Ford came on board as creative director, but man, I just think that was just a great. Anybody that's interested in business and the real cutthroat, like
nature of it.
Yeah, man. Like, watch that movie, man, because like I said, it's crazy. You don't even think about this, but that's a brand that started with somebody's last name, and not one person named Gucci actually works for Gucci now, or has any equity ownership.
You got to worry about the outside influences, man. Got to worry about the outside. I'm gonna watch it today. What streaming service is it on?
It's on Netflix.
Okay, I'll watch it.
Yeah, it's called The House of Gucci.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I Vince Staples, shout out to him too. I watched his series. I liked his series a lot too. His series is kind of a dry comic. It's
dry humor vibe.
Yeah, but yeah. So I say I have to say, man, my movie tip of the holiday season, if you at home and you need something to watch, House of Gucci, watch that movie and really pay attention, man. Keep your head up and your eyes open, because you never know who's out to snake you.
And don't let anybody break up the family. Some of y'all be making generational curses and decisions on the family. We'll get to the Michigan coach here in a little bit, but you got to be careful, man, of people who want to separate you from your family and your friends.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, speaking of Michigan coach, let's talk about him. Unfortunate situation. So if anybody has you never want to see a person fall, especially, I don't want to see nobody fall, but especially a black man that's been extremely successful.
But if I go rob a bank after the show and I get caught robbing the bank, I can't be like, oh, the man. Sometimes you can force the dumbness on yourself.
100%, but it's still unfortunate.
That's a good point.
It's not. I'm not saying like it's nobody else's fault, but it's unfortunate. And you know what? It's like, okay, he got caught cheating with his side chick. Happens, but he took it a step further, broke into a home, threatened to kill himself. So this is like a perfect storm of everything that could potentially go wrong. Where he's coming off a national championship, right? In 2014. In 2014, Michigan won a national championship, right? So when you talk about college football, there's only a few programs that are at the highest level possible every year in, year out. Blue blood. Michigan, Ohio State, Alabama. You could probably say Texas. I don't know.
2023.
Well, they won in 2024 because they play in January.
Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha. You guys said 2014 is one of them.
Oh yeah, 2024.
Yeah.
Because they played January 8th was the game according to ChatGPT. So 2024. But okay, so he's at probably the highest level that you could possibly be in coaching college, right? He's making $8 million a year. He's married with children. So look what happens in this situation. He loses the highest level coaching job that he'll probably ever get, right? That's bad. him and his wife, that's obviously headed towards a divorce. He breaks up his marriage. That's bad. He has children. He breaks up,
custody.
ruins the relationship with his children. Now has to go through the whole court system, child support, and the emotional strain on his children. So ruins the relationship with his children, at least for the time being. That's bad. Could potentially lose his freedom. Actually has to, in criminal court, right? Going to jail and everything. That's bad. And loses $8 million contract.
And you make it tough for someone else who is black to fill that position. When you had somebody go out of their way to make sure that you had that position who wasn't of our culture.
So he lost everything. Like, you know, when people say, like, I lost everything. Sometimes you say you lost everything. You didn't really lose everything. Like the coach of the Boston Celtics, Ndico. Remember when he cheated on Nia Long? Yeah, I mean, okay. Nia Long, they wasn't married. They didn't have children. It was his fiance. And now he's right back in the NBA with the Rockets and
doing well.
Yeah. So it hurt him, but it didn't ruin his life, right? This man
ruined his life.
He's facing criminal charges.
And
so
go ahead.
So he literally ruined his life for the side chick.
And a lot of you will criticize. Why are y'all at this big age having these conversations? Because this shit is going around the world happening. I keep saying blackout is the conversations that you have to have after you get the bag. In that conversation, you cannot take away someone's livelihood and think that they're going to be a stand-up person for you. So if you got her hired and got her a raise, whatever conversation you had at the dinner table with your wife, you now cannot remove that girl and that girl goes to squander. You're setting the trap up for yourself where, and let's be real, the college didn't care what they were doing because he was winning. And then he didn't win against a little rival. And now you have made the situation too hot and won't have that under control. And y'all joke about the little work wife thing, but you have to be comfortable not to shit where you eat. It's crazy. Like it's a lot of premature, let's be honest. And how he's moving, he's never had nothing bad. Now you got me exposing all your love.
Yeah, now it's
free for all.
You got the OnlyFans girl that said that he asked for a foursome after the national championship game in return for tickets. And
now she offered that. Shout to me because I want to smoke. But now she's running and building her subscriptions up off of your failure. You can't give people enough weaponry against you to take you down when you fall, because there are people who are waiting for you to fall for them to monetize and maximize what they're doing off of the death of your brand. Don't give them anything.
And it's Umar said he got double money. First man in history to get double money. That's a different conversation. But
my God.
So this brings up, so this is how it all ties into business, because this is, like I said, he lost $8 million a year, but more, what's the potential earning loss of somebody that was a young person?
He's like 39, right?
Superstar coach at the top university in America when it comes to football, coming off a national championship a year ago, and now you probably got to work your way back up from a low level D1 school if you're lucky, and try to.
Oh, he'll never coach college again.
You don't think he'll ever coach college again?
How could you?
Well, one thing about college, they care about winning. Rick Pitino, remember when Rick Pitino got caught in the whole thing with the
Rick Pitino not black.
He 100%. He's not.
Yes.
but there's only a few people that have national champ. He does have a national championship.
He can go there. He can go to HBCU. But how that power structure works in the Big Ten and them power players, the boosters won't even allow it.
See, the thing that really screwed him over was the criminal shit. If he would have just cheated
and got caught and laid low,
could have laid low. He probably still would have got fired, but he could have laid low, come back to like a James Madison, and then worked his way up, and then before you know, he'd be back in the Power 5 conference. But the fact that he's actually facing criminal charges and had to go to court, and that's the part that really screwed him. But this is how it all ties into the world of business, because we've seen this we've seen from Bill Clinton, when you're talking about powerful men that just couldn't control their sexual appetites and had really severe consequences on them, right?
Yeah.
And some have more severe than others. But let's look at the real powerful people: Woody Allen, Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, and then of course, obviously, everybody's infatuated with the Diddy situation. He wasn't married, but his sexual appetite obviously cost him his livelihood.
For sure.
The list goes on, man. This guy, the coach of Michigan, we could literally go for like at least an hour and just name extremely powerful men that have had this happen, right? So, this question comes from my mom. She said, "Why can't powerful men stay faithful? Is it a psychological disorder? And is polygamy a potential solution?"
What are your thoughts? I want you to take the floor. Shout
I
out
think
to your mom for an amazing question, though.
For sure. I think it definitely has some level of psychological impact, as far as it's a personality disorder that can be good, but also can be bad, right? So when Kanye said it's hard to be humble when you're stunting on the jumbotron, I feel like you have, in order to be like a conqueror. This goes back to like Alexander and like the pharaohs, right? Like there's a certain type of personality, not all the time, but a lot of time, that extremely powerful men have, and that's a conquering personality.
Mm-hmm.
Where they're gonna conquer in business, they're gonna take over, so a lot of the times, how you do one thing is how you do everything, and it's hard to turn certain things off. So you have that same level of grandiosity and power and all of that in your personal business life. Your relationship, you kind of have that same appetite, right? So it's like one person is not enough for you. Sometimes it's not even about sex, or it's not even about it's about just the power dynamic. Like when they asked Bill Clinton, they said, why did you cheat? Why did you do this in the White House? He said, because I could. That was a very telling answer.
And sometimes it's for the thrill.
But 100%.
Yeah.
But the thrill also goes back to like a power play, right? So I feel like it goes kind of hand in hand a lot of times when you have that level of high, because it is like a dopamine hit when you get to like everybody's looking at you and you become like a superstar, and everybody's like doing whatever you say. If you're not careful, I mean, you're gonna want that same level of power, access, do whatever you want, more than just the regular average person in a relationship too.
But also, it's a lot of broke men who do the same thing.
That's true.
We act like it's just rich and powerful. I'm gonna be real, man. Like if a dude has more available time because he doesn't have as many responsibilities, those are the snipers you really have to be worried about. That can get the women off of game and no money and just charisma and euro pound. That shit happens a lot more, and it's not just a rich or broke thing. I think it's just.
But all right, so here's the question, because you're right, it happens across all income levels. But I think what she was saying is, what, unfortunately, a lot of times if you broke, you don't really have too much to lose, other than your relationship, which that's a lot to lose. I don't want to minimize that, but I'm just saying, why do powerful men who have a lot to lose, like this guy at Michigan, his coach, he had a lot to lose, right? He had millions of dollars to lose. He had the most prestigious job in college football to lose.
Mm-hmm.
He had like endorsements. He had like, when you have that much to lose,
Mm-hmm.
right? What would make somebody, and these dudes be reckless with their cheating too. What would make somebody like that? For that, I think that's what she meant by, is that a psychological disorder? Like, is it like you can't even
table it?
Like you can't even table it. You can't even
Mm-hmm.
do it discreetly. Like you just
Mm-hmm.
fuck it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, is that
got the job, got on, and that's a double cheat. To cheat and put it on payroll? What? Crazy. You gotta.
So that from that standpoint, what's your thoughts from that standpoint? Like powerful, very powerful men with a lot to lose. Why can't they do it a little bit more discreetly, or why can't they control it when they know that they got their whole entire shit could just be blown up in 1 minute?
One thing is self-sabotage. Two is some people love the thrill more than freedom. Like that high of I could get caught. And you can tell he loved that girl. I believe he was an athlete before. He played college ball, right? He may not have gotten all of his desires out. Now, I don't want to talk about him in particular, but there's a lot of men who have not lived the life that they want to live, and they get that power and fame really late. And now you have like a second childhood or the delayed childhood. Now you're trying to get all your shit off at 35, 38, 40, and you're risking everything. And sometimes it's just you're trying to make up for what you weren't. I see a lot of dudes who are not that dude in 8th grade, high school, college, get some money at 34 or 40 or 45, and they go live out all of their wildest dreams and don't look to what they could lose. And the other part that has to be talked about too, a lot of the cheating happens when you're not with who you want to be with. It's a lot of it. Like when a person deeply settles for a person, but you know that's not even in the top 5 people who you want, you're going to be a lot more reckless opposed if it's somebody who you really give a fuck about. I'm not speaking on his situation, but in general, I've seen a lot with that reckless. You're going to be outside, not care. You're booed up and everybody knows, and it's the worst secret ever. You're not with who you want to be with. And if you're honest about it, you'll be surprised how often the person that you're with will let you have your fun and have your cake and eat it too.
That goes back to is polygamy a potential solution?
I think it's one of, for sure. And just being honest. Most people are lying to me. Even when like I get on here and I'll say the things that I say, and they're like, "You're wild." I'm like, it's not that I'm wild. You just lie too much. Nothing about me is wild. You're just lying in your situation, but privately you'll come up and y'all really fuck with Blackout. I bet. I bet you do, because you won't say this shit in conversation in public and to the person that you're with. So quit lying, but you got to have some balls and some chutzpah and be willing to lose some shit over, baby, this is who I really am. There's nothing better than having a person really fuck with you and they fuck with you for who you are, good and bad. That's a sweet spot. You trying to play family man and I'm a good person, and now you lying to do, I'm gonna kill myself if you leave me, or look what you done did to me. What? No, and I'm gonna say it to all men, no person is worth that. Because if you met one of them Dominicans in the Bronx, you would have said, go kill yourself then. Let me see. You love me that much? Go ahead, cut your throat. Be careful, yo. Just move with integrity. And it's not saying that you got to be holy. Just don't lie about the shit that you be doing. Just don't lie, yo. It fixes a lot of it. But to jeopardize your entire career respectfully over some I'm from the Midwest, so I can say this. Some Midwest mid is crazy to me.
Midwest mid. Wow.
What? Wow. But if you're going to put on payroll, don't get the pop in your shit and I'm going to get you fired either. That's a dangerous game. That's leading with money. If you're going to get that girl a raise, you cannot then put her out in the middle of her receiving payment and then you want her to go back to Iowa while you're paying Mia. Can't do it.
You know,
also, fellas, you have to learn the OnlyFans, them escorts and them strippers don't give a fuck about you. They're going to line you up one way or another. It may not be their friends come rob you, but they may ruin your reputation. Or they may ruin some shit publicly for you, or a deal may not go through and extort you that way. You got to be mindful of the type of people, if you're going to cheat, who you're even cheating with, if you have a lot to lose. You got to be mindful, man. And y'all think these conversations this is happening with politicians, VC. They had a whole thing about honeypots and tech who are getting fucking secrets and sending them back to China. This is a global issue. And I feel bad for the brother, but it should never get to the point where you're breaking in and threatening to kill somebody, even though I probably think he had a key and got in, but it should never come to that.
And I think you said you brought up a good point. A lot of people are lying to themselves. It's one thing, I do believe that you should have control and practice discipline. And like I said, I fully believe in the institution of marriage, and but I just don't think that there's one way. I think that monogamy works for a lot of people, but it doesn't work for every single person. So I feel like there's a lot of people, there's a lot of men that have lied to themselves for a very long period of time. And like you said, I mean, they're in polygamous relationships anyway. They're cheating.
Yes.
They go to strip clubs, cheating. They going to, you know, whatever, paying passport bro. They got a long-standing side chick. They got a couple of side chicks. There's a variety of different ways how to.
And you be in love with all of them too, telling lies to the sides.
Or you watching Pornhub
every day.
You're addicted to porno. So I think we just gotta have honest conversations because it is ruining people's lives. And if people was more honest with their significant other, but more importantly, more honest with themselves. Like Neo said, like, look, I'm never gonna go back to that because that's not who I am as a person. And I don't want to have to cheat and lie to somebody. I'd rather just be honest.
Yeah. Yep. Be careful, yo. And I've always said too, like, a person will let you get the bullshit off, but you have to figure at what cost. Every time I talk to my mom and dad, like, keep your nose clean. I know what they're saying. Don't let nobody trick you out of your spot. Because even a person, you can upset them so much, they'll line the trap up for you. You don't know if that wife and that girl was in cahoots together.
Well, that's another thing that the House of Gucci movie, like I said, without giving it away, be careful who you piss off and how much, especially a woman scorn. A woman scorn, be careful.
Set some shit on fire, yo.
Well, like I said, watch that movie, but that's exactly what happened. A woman scorn, be careful with a woman's emotions.
How you talk to her, and that's why a lot of y'all be like financially abusive. Be careful. Because if they know that you got it and you taking care of them at a certain clip for a certain amount of time, they'll go to the lawyer and the lawyer will tell them, well, if he's doing it at this rate, he probably really has this. They got software for it. And here's the payout you can get. You gotta be careful. Every angle, somebody's coming to get the money. That's why it's best to show that you don't have it.
100%. Okay, let's talk about tipping. Who gets tipped? Who should you tip? What's the best practices for end of year tipping? You know, it's one of these things. A lot of service workers. This comes from Mike. He asked this question.
It's a great question. Yeah.
Garbage men. Valet parker. Like if you live in a building that has like valet parkers, those guys. Concierge service if you live in a building. But then it goes down. Teachers. Like
it's a good yeah.
But then at what age do you like? Preschool teacher, stuff like that. Are you giving money to your son's high school teacher? Like what? Who really needs an end of year monetary gift?
Well, valet for sure. Shout to the guys. Doorman. Shout to y'all for sure because they keep a lot of chaos away. Teachers if they are a good teacher. So
like, what age teacher?
I don't know, but the ones that I've had has been now 1st through 5th for Xander. I like his primary teacher a lot, so I definitely give him something tomorrow. Matter of fact, so, but I think it depends on. But even in preschool, you may think that they were not doing a lot, but when I would just pop in, they were, and then it was a family-run daycare. They do a really good job. So I brought some stuff up there for Christmas too, and then cleaning ladies like. That's like my second family. They make my life so much easier. So those are the ones that I take care of in my circle: valet, doorman, teacher, house manager.
And it depends on if you live in an apartment or if you live in a home too, because sanitation, that's a home thing. That's a private home thing.
Yeah.
If you live in an apartment, you don't see a sanitation worker. So that's not even a thought. If you live in a home, then yeah, the sanitation guys come and, you know, they come every Wednesday, they pick up the trash, you know, so that's a more personable thing. So I think it depends on your life because a valet parker, like I said, if you live in a building, that's important.
Yeah, that's a close relationship.
Yeah.
Work-wise, yeah.
The mailman. Maybe.
It depends on a relationship.
Well, it also depends on the service, but you know, it's
true.
just like if I feel like the mailman is important.
Are people even getting mail like that anymore?
Nah, people still get mail.
Amazon.
They get bills.
True.
They get those bills. They
True.
get those bills.
Yeah.
But yeah, the mailman.
Barber.
Oh yeah, barber for sure.
Yeah. Dave Shands make that conversation go crazy about if they charging too much, but definitely holiday time. You got to take care of the barber.
School bus drivers.
That's a good one.
The school bus drivers, those guys are important, or women.
Yeah.
They're important because they make sure your kid gets to and from.
Who are you not tipping?
Anybody that does a bad job. Just because you do something, if you're a bad sanitation worker and you always the trash is always on the lawn, no, I'm not tipping you because
or if you just have horrible energy.
Or if you're not a nice person.
Yeah.
But if you do your job well, how much do you tip?
It depends on the relationship, to be honest. Clean ladies, they make my life so easy. Nice gift every year.
You know, because this goes back to the wedding thing. Remember we talked about the wedding? A lot of people don't know. A lot of people, especially, unfortunately, our community, they don't fully understand etiquette a lot of times when it comes to weddings, gifts. A lot of people don't fully understand etiquette when it comes to year-end gifts, tipping, holiday tips. They don't even know you have to do that, or that is something that is, expected on a certain level, right? So it's not even that they're trying to be cheap. It never the thought never crossed their mind that to give a sanitation worker $100.
Yeah, but people also my thing is to do to others how you want them to do you. So deep down, I think some people know, they just may not think it's a requirement. Even in business, you should be sending gifts out in the year for the people that's taking care of you.
Well, that's bonus, year-end bonus.
Yeah. And a gift may not be bad in addition to. So, in combination, if a person has been exemplary for you.
Yeah. But rule of thumb, anybody that you're relying on, either on a daily or weekly basis, that has a high level of customer service throughout the year should be getting a tip. So if you're relying on your sanitation worker, if you're relying on your valet parker, if you're relying on your concierge guy at your building, if you're relying on your FedEx worker, if you're relying on your mail worker, if you're relying on your barber, if you're relying on the lady that does your manicures, if you're relying on the bus driver to make sure that your kid gets to and from school safely, if you're relying on a preschool teacher that has to stay with the kids all day every day, and they don't get different classes, they only have one group of kids for the whole entire day, because A, you're thanking them, but B, you're also having some level of, let's be honest, preferential treatment going forward.
Yes,
they're going to treat you better.
Pay it in advance.
Let's be honest, right? Like, I mean, it's just one of those things. Like,
driver, if you have one,
they're going to make sure that you get better treatment than everybody else because you went over and above everybody else.
Especially in a restaurant setting too. Like, one way to get great service is to tip as soon as you get there.
Before dinner?
Helps a lot. I went and had a reservation. That'll go away in a couple of times. I used to have a little issue in Sexy Phil. Oh, you have no pants. Don't worry about it. Thank you.
Jabril broke it down. Passport Heavy. Shout out to him. He said what he does is he started tipping the hotel check-in people.
It helps a lot. It helps a lot, bro. Especially LA, when you go to Mexico.
He's like, and then miraculously he just starts getting room upgrades, fruit baskets sent to the room.
Even when I go to Cabo, like, they'll connect you with the other people that are moving the show. Hey, do you know such and such? He's a director. I don't know. I have no clue what that nature documentary was on BBC. Cool, connect me, because you're paying it forward first, and they may not be able to give you the gratitude back monetarily, but they'll be able to do it in service or another way. It helps. Yeah, and for your cleaning people and drivers and all that, if you don't treat them well, your information may end up on the dark web. So be careful. Take care of them. Take care of them, please.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Monetary gifts for everybody. That's important. Okay, let's bring 19 Keys up. I see him down there if we can. 19 Keys is in the building.
Man,
my brother, how you doing?
What's the
and
deal?
I feel great, man. How you, my brother Ian, man?
I'm good, man.
I only speak to Ian on podcasts.
Oh my God, don't do this.
You know what I'm saying?
We talked, what was that, maybe 2 months ago?
2 years.
No, get the fuck out of here. I'll pull up the call log right now. I was on the way back from getting Xander from school.
And see, for him is 2 months. You know what I'm saying? I know I don't think I spoke to you since I've been on tour, so that's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a little second. We got to catch up.
Keys, man, the most interesting man in the world. 19 Keys is in the building. What's up, my brother? How you doing?
Man, I feel good, man. Just coming off a whole lot of traveling and
for
putting
sure
things together for 2026.
You get tired of touring or no?
You know what? I started doing this monthly podcast just because I've been trying to build up some consistency. It's only like 20, 30 minutes a day. And today we was talking about intrinsic versus extrinsic motivation, right? Like when I do touring, don't get me wrong, touring is not like y'all know touring costs a whole lot of fucking money to do.
Yeah.
Right. So it's expensive as hell. But I was thinking about that myself, like why I continue to do it. And it's that when you go out and you meet people and you get all of these testimonials, right? And you see the impact that you have, it always reinforces the meaning, right? And what I was talking about this morning is that people don't need more discipline. They need more meaning in their life. So for me, what I'm reminded of as I go tours, like why I'm doing it. And so for me, it actually flows with me. I don't need more willpower. I don't need more discipline to do it. I don't need to expend more energy when I'm actually out there and we on stage and we speaking to the people. I was surprised. I think I was in Columbus and that was one of my favorite stops. You know, when you hit those spaces that like people don't normally go to, man, the love there is just different. Like I think people react to you the way you think they should, right? And they treating you the way you think they should based on the value that you bring in. And it was just like the whole city just activates. That's what it feels like. You feel me? Like we did Bermuda's first financial literacy conference. We set that up and they built it around me. Then, of course, we did Birmingham, UK business conference. That was raw.
That's fire.
I did my own London Save Yourself. That sold out. Then we did Ghana. I spoke at the entrepreneur conference in Ghana. Then I spoke in Uganda, right, at this coffee conference as well as we building out the Supermind Brand. So, you know, it's been feeling good because, you know, the whole goal was to be a global thought leader in the first place.
So let me ask you this, man. It's a lot going on. So we're going to talk about some different topics, blackout style. Let's start with Rob Reiner. And Donald Trump. So if anybody's not familiar, Rob Reiner, actor, producer, Hollywood,
director.
Yeah, he's a very well-known person in the world of Hollywood. Had a Hollywood Walk of Fame star, and you know, had a storied career. Long story short, very unfortunate, tragic situation. It looks like allegedly, his son slit him and his wife's throat. So man, it's just, you know, death is something that you never want to celebrate, but especially something like that. That's just very tragic. That's a very tragic situation to have. I don't know what happened. Like I said, you know, and it's still alleged, but that's, you know, the son's in custody right now, $4 million bond. But it's just a very weird, sad situation. Now, Trump comes out with a whole post on Truth Social talking about, oh, he was a deranged man. He suffered from Trump derangement syndrome. It's completely tasteless commentary. Given the circumstances, I guess Rob was he did not support Trump. And I guess, you know, he was somebody that was actively against a lot of the things that he was pushing. So Trump took the opportunity to man, it's one of the most tasteless things I've ever seen. Especially
a lot from him,
especially coming from the president. The core class decorum just completely goes out the window. So my thing is, like, at what point do people have some level of like reckoning that they're supporting this level of fuckery? And like, this is the way I'm getting at it. I understand from a business standpoint, the tech people, because they getting money. I can understand if you supporting Trump from a purely business standpoint, you taking the emotions out of it. All right, whatever. I could understand that. I could understand from if he's supporting some level of political agenda that you're pushing. I could understand if he's supporting a country that you support, and I can understand from just a tactical standpoint of how you support Trump. But for the religious right, especially white evangelical Christians who have championed somebody who goes against all Christian value system. I don't even know if he is a Christian. How do you, because
I think he said he wasn't, right?
Yeah. They supported him based off of morals. They didn't support him based off of he's good for business or I'm gonna make money. They supported him off of morals. He's anti-abortion. And like that's the part that's confusing for me. Like, how can you say that you're a good person and support somebody based off of moral content when he's probably the most morally flawed president that we've had in modern history, at least? What's your thoughts on that?
Donald Trump don't give a fuck, and I don't think his followers do anymore. I think we got to a point in society where we just try to adapt to things. We don't try to change them anymore. Right? I think that's what it is. It's like when it comes to AI, when it comes to government, institutions, just about everything, human beings are no longer thinking about revolution anymore. They're not thinking about revolting. Everybody is just thinking about adaptation. Right. So if the president gets up there and he says whatever he wants to, he say, I want to hang niggas again. Right. People are going to try to adapt to it. Right. Because on one side, they're trying to reinforce belief in this hierarchy system of government and institution. Right. That we can just vote this problem away. Right. And so we know that there's no true liberation without revolution. But we know that the people are not prepared for that. Like they're the farthest thing away from revolting in my mind. Right. And so everything then becomes entertainment. Everything kind of gets lumped into the same thing, all meaningless. We're not really regarding what he's saying at this level of value, that this has extreme effects on the world. We're thinking of it as another piece of content. Right. Everything just becomes content and entertainment to the people. And it's actually the most dangerous place to be in. Right. When he can speak upon somebody that disagrees with him, and then be happy that this person was murdered, supposedly by their son, even though somebody else was murdered in LA by their son around the same time.
Yeah.
I particularly believe in coincidence. I believe in patterns. And we know that we living in a daytime and age where they got brain-to-brain interface, man. They can manipulate somebody and get them to do whatever they want to. Right. So these are not far-fetched theories no more. This is just science and technology and the latest new startup. Right. So I think that as long as people don't have the spirit for rebellion or revolution, then, tyranny and all of these things just become entertainment to you. And people that's sufficiently entertained would never revolt. It's the most dangerous place in the world to be. And this is actually making people that have that spirit of revolution, have that intellectual spirit, have the ability to see these things, it's making people want to actually, disappear from society, because it's almost like you speaking into a black hole. Nobody really listening no more. No matter how much we say about this, like on this show right now, there's almost nothing that we can say, no truth that we can deliver that will hit the spirit of people, that will enlighten the mind and make them take action, unless they're already there.
Yeah.
Right. If that's not you, if that's not your identity already, then we're not recruiting new members into this thinking class of people that's actually ready to take action behind what they consider to be freedom. I think it's a very dangerous place. And I think that that's an example of him having an understanding of where the people are and knowing he can get away with anything, because the whole idea of his presidency was to be king, not to be a CEO, even though he ran it like a CEO style of things, but it was to be king, to say, I can do whatever I want to. I can cut a nigga head off in the town square, and then I can go about my day, smoke a cigar and play some golf, and y'all just go report it on the news and continue about your day.
Yeah, it's tasteless, heartless. I mean, I heard that the daughter found the parents. Like, that's heartbreaking. And then to have that kind of remark towards people that passed because they didn't like your political take it's heartbreaking. The country's fucked, to be honest. And like he said, there's no coming back. It reminds me of WWF. Like, that new MAGA right only cares about their side winning, there's no more decorum or class. Mm-hmm. We saw when they had comments on George Floyd and countless others. They don't care at all. And it's only going to get worse over time, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, 2026 gonna be ugly.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy.
This was just training ground for next year. Next year, it's a 1 year, so it's a year of new cycles and new birth. Like it set precedents for the next 9 years. I would say the one thing that we lucky to be in is that we're lucky to be old enough and mature enough to actually be able to have an impact on the future that our children and our great grandchildren will grow up in. Like they're just going to inherit a new world, like how we inherited a world that we grew up in, and now we're in this transition phase. At least we actually get to have influence and impact on where things are going. By the time you get to the beta generation, they're just going to grow up in this AI chaos world where they had no say-so in, and they just have to survive in it, right? We're in the transition period where everybody that's existing right now are essentially the founding fathers of the future. The problem is that people don't actually believe they have any more power. So we watch things happen instead of saying that, how can I affect things? So I was looking at, what's the guy who played Robin on Batman? He was talking about AI, and he was talking about how state regulations and AI is going to affect children, right? And he was given some simple ways to affect the impact of the legislation by calling into local government or whatever it is. And it had me thinking like, damn, people hear news and they think that is law, right? We hear that things are being brought in and we're like, oh, well, that's what's about to happen. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. There's nothing I can do, when that's not reality at all. Reality is you can still impact things. And I think that if there's a message that people need to understand, is that, like, if you're living in this time, you still get to impact this time.
How do you, because a lot of people feel like you can't have any impact, it's useless, because it's like the political power has been centralized like we haven't seen in modern history. And they're moving, Project 2025 is almost 70% done. So a lot of people feel like they're powerless.
Yeah, I'm sure the people that wrote Project 2025 felt like that before they wrote it and executed it. You know what I
mean? No. Well, to push back respectfully, the people that wrote Project 2025 is very
already in power,
powerful, rich. They didn't. I'm talking about the people that don't have money, that's just trying to survive, which that's the vast majority of people, right? They don't have influence. They don't have any relationship with government. Those people.
But none of those things are actually true. Right now, anybody can get on a social media platform and have influence if they put out content the right way.
But they're throttling the influence, though.
Right, but shit, nowadays you can talk about anything on social media and go viral. People talking about Israel, when back in the day, the Overton window to speak upon these things was very small. You couldn't speak on these things and not have your platform, deplatformed.
Removed. Yeah.
Well, you bring up a good you bring up a good point, but we also spoke about the fact that since there's so much people talking, it kind of diffuses the impact, because it's not like, okay, one person says something, now this is everybody saying anything now. So it's like the value of going viral has even gotten diminished.
Organization. It is only one thing that organizations fear is organization. Infrastructure behind influence is power. Right. And so the goal is not just that you have influence, it's the way we're using it. See, in that video, what he was talking about was he gave you specifically who to call, and that if it reaches a certain percentage of people that call in, it does impact the bill. It happened to the big, beautiful bill when they tried to put it in there in the first place. People got wind of it. It reached a level of awareness, and then they had to extract it and take it out. Now they're trying to find a new way. The idea is that you get people to believe they don't have power and they no longer have it. Right? It's never will be true in the history of the world that people don't have power, because the people can always decide collectively. It's just, can you influence and create enough awareness on any problem? If you want to change anything in government, get money going through things, you always have to bring awareness to it first. After the awareness, that's when you have to be more intentional about where that energy and that intention flows, right? What is the mechanism of impact? Bring influence and awareness to that, organize the people under that, then you can make effect and change. What's happening is that there's disorganization, right? So there's influence without infrastructure. So therefore there's awareness, but there is no plan of action. There's no architecture to the influence. And that's what they hope, that we're just comfortable with having the ability to communicate things without organizing the actual impact. So we've monetized activism, right? We've monetized social activism and things of that nature, and it becomes a part of just a capitalist cycle, but it's not actually making change. Take the Diddy documentary. Diddy was an extreme capitalist, right? Most of the things he did was for money. He was to get money. He did those things. He gets arrested for them, right? Essentially for being a very crude and extreme capitalist. 50 Cent, who is a capitalist, make a documentary about him. 50 Cent is not trying to make impact and change, right, things on a vast scale in Hollywood or the industry. He wants to make more money. It's all just one cycle of capitalism. That's all it is. And so what's happening is that the people who actually have the voices, who have leadership, I believe, are getting caught up in a cycle of capitalism as well, where just having a voice and getting paid off using that voice is becoming enough, instead of thinking about ways to create alternative systems and create real impact, because people have become tired and burnt out, right, of trying. But it's the trying is not the problem. It's that you're not being effective because you're not doing the right thing.
Do you think the people want the power or the responsibility that comes with the power you're talking about?
I think ideally they want it, but in practice, no, because most people, like he said, are just trying to survive, right? Like the whole system is set up, right, for survival, not to thrive. Like we talk about, let's say, children in school, right? I've been like really writing a lot, studying a lot, and going deep into these dives about just understanding where we are in time and where we are in mind, right? Like most people suffer because they live a life that is mismatched with the way that they actually think. So you would look at somebody doing a podcast and you'd be like, man, they very powerful. They get money and things of that nature. They monetize it. I want to do that. But the way your brain works is you're not good in front of being in front of a camera. You're not a great communicator. You don't know how to study and put together copy. You might be a creative, but you don't have none of those framework infrastructure things that will allow you to actually be good at doing this thing. So when you try it, you're going to need way more willpower, more discipline, and it's going to actually become more taxing on your brain, and you will burn out, right? People want the reward of the power, but they don't want the responsibility
and the work that comes with it
of developing that power. And so I think that we have a whole society that's been trained to be workers and not thinkers, right? As we know. And this comes from a Prussian model of discipline that doesn't actually fit people today, that's outdated. So yes, I do think that people want the responsibility ideally, but practically when it actually comes time to taking accountability and doing those things, I don't think that people's minds are fit to do it. And they're not allowing the people that actually have the ability to lead, because it's also easier to discredit leadership than any time ever before. So you might get a great mind that's perfect for it, but then you might not like one thing they do, one thing they say, right? And this is the most dangerous time, because you want to allow leadership to lead because you act like they need to be perfect in everything. Donald Trump is nowhere near perfect, but his base allows him to lead.
That's true. Let me ask you this: as far as okay, switching gears. Let's talk about new age media. Shout out to Charlemagne. Congratulations, Breakfast Club.
Call me that 6.
So I actually spoke to him yesterday, and gave me some insight on his thoughts on this whole thing. So if you're not familiar, the Breakfast Club starting next year. The Breakfast Club, Joe and Jada podcast, and a few other podcasts.
Roy and Maul, gotta give him credit.
Roy and Maul too?
Yeah.
Okay. Will be exclusively, their video will be exclusively on Netflix, no longer on YouTube. So yeah, you know, what Charlemagne, you know, kind of paraphrasing and just, you know, without going into full detail of the conversation, but he just thought that it was a good idea to kind of diversify. And to he felt like a lot of people feel YouTube, you know, they play games. They play games with the money. They play
allegedly.
They play games with the suppression of views, different things of that nature. So it's like, look, Netflix, obviously, the business model is different. It's going to be some level of guarantees that you get. It's like, actually putting out a show, right? Where, you hit a benchmark, you might get more, but it's not like, okay, we got to just wing it. Hopefully we can figure it out on the views. And then, it's not, obviously there's more people on YouTube than there is on Netflix, but Netflix has a large subscriber base, international. And he didn't feel like it was going to be something that was going to be tremendously detrimental. Like, people going to watch Netflix. But it's interesting. It's
a great
interesting.
look.
From a few. So
say it again.
Would you do it? You got to give them some rights on Market Mondays, but you get the exposure and the audience leverage.
It depends on what the deal structure is like.
I would say this: the pros for YouTube, from my perspective, right? It's a no barrier of entry because everybody has it. Everybody has YouTube, and even like this, what I was saying the other day, like I was talking to AB, like I watch YouTube on my phone. At any given moment, I can watch you. I don't know if I'm going to be consuming I know for a fact I'm not going to be consuming the Breakfast Club's content as much as I used to because of the barrier of entry. I've never watched Netflix on my phone for the most part, unless I got to pre-download a documentary
on a plane or something.
On a plane. I don't just randomly at 1 o'clock in the afternoon go on Netflix on my phone. Netflix is 11 o'clock at night. I'm at home. I'm in that mode. I turn on the television. That's to me, that's a different level of demographic. So a show like Market Mondays, I feel like Ian said, it just depends because one of the benefits of that show is the low barrier of entry for everybody. And it's a reliable show, relatively same amount of people watch it every single week, very devoted following. It has a lot of benefits as far as, different things as far as communicating messages to the core audience that may get lost in translation if it's on a Netflix. So I don't know.
If they give us the McAfee treatment and you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Right, you got the budget because y'all budget is very low for doing your show. It's easy. So if you're doing Netflix, obviously there's going to be a level of budget there that makes the show a little more creative, you know what I mean, in execution, because you do have to make sure that, it's more entertaining, number one. And I'll be interested to see what their future rollouts of what the whole Netflix business model is going to be as far as how that platform is consumed, right? We've seen what Instagram rolled out Reels TV for fire and things of that nature. Obviously, the industry is consolidating and looking at, Reels consumption in a way that people are consuming vertical platforms, but then just looking at, I think, just the way people are consuming content on YouTube as TV, Netflix as TV, and I don't think people want to jump and switch so much. They're trying to get people to stay on one platform for
longer watch time. Yep.
Right. And so thinking about the podcast that they did choose, of course, those are very Black centric audiences, right? Hip hop. So it does tell you that they try and get Black people.
They have a broad range. Those are just the podcasts that was highlighted in our algorithm.
Yeah.
But they got a lot of white podcasts too.
Yeah, white people be killing it on that podcast stuff, man. We need more Black people to watch Black podcasts.
Or
what?
I'm done telling. Listen, I'm keeping all my secrets. We'll talk on the phone, but
Tim Hardaway.
Now, okay, Rashad, you once said that podcasting was dead.
It is.
You know what I mean?
And shout out to Charlamagne. I know he's gonna text us after this. I know the stats for that's coming in. When I say podcasting is dead, it's in our genre.
Now, when you say dead as far as monetizability, right? Because
they even monetize they're selling their fucking rights. Episode 2. Episode out the gate. Just give me my little check on the back end. Now, it's not enough originality. That we're not in true crime. Like we made an impact in investing. There's nothing in travel. There's nothing in mathematics. There's nothing in like there are other gaps that need to be filled by us, but everyone wants to talk about hoop and rap. It's too fucking concentrated there.
Nobody is bringing budgets for this shit. It's like you. All right, so you see,
but even without the budget, not to cut you, even without the budget, build the audience off of another skill set, and then the budget will come.
So then that means that the podcasting is not dead. You saying that there's a segment that's not being fed, that's not being nurtured. You know what I mean? Because obviously people are still watching them, right? But I will say, as far as you know, you have to indirectly monetize the podcast instead of relying on direct, which you should be able to, because they're getting paid regardless.
Yeah.
What they're doing is they're starving out creators. It's not that creators are not good, content is not original, because for each one of those things, I'm sure there's somebody doing a show. There's some black astrophysicist, there's a black scientist doing a crazy good show right now. But we know that we don't actually have any real, number one, black networks, right? And so we have to wait until white executives decide to greenlight these things, because they reach this level to where they believe it's going to be profitable and they need that category, right? And so part of me doing high-level conversations was because, we don't talk about science. We don't talk about that. We're not talking about these things. And I'm like, if they rare, then they valuable. And when we started to open up them conversations, we got millions of views. We see that, right? The only thing is that, you know, outside of me directly monetizing my show myself, there is no outside capital that comes to infuse that to say, okay, you opened up a lane. Now let's see if we can make this bigger, right? There is no black media networks to be able to go to.
But why do you think that is?
Up from
if we want to have a conversation.
Because number one, it's the same reason why, you know, gambling is working right now. Selling liquor is still working right now. All of these industries.
Liquor.
These are low-hanging fruit, easy to sell to a community, microwavable, right? And so they don't want you to build up a sophisticated intellectual audience, right? That actually thinks that's harder to sell to. Now you got to get the tech industry to come in, the financial industry to come in. You got to get different type of advertisers and sponsors, and they not going to black audiences. They selling us gambling, liquor, sex, the same old thing over and over and over. I don't think that most of these podcasters are talented. They just getting gambling deals.
Well, they also don't value black people for anything of substance, and that reflects in advertisement dollars. So they don't. If your show, High Level Conversations, has 9 million views on an episode, imagine if a hip hop podcast had 9 million views. It's just different because it's just like InvestFest. InvestFest had 25,000 people a day. Imagine if one of these other, you know, like
music festivals
had, it's a different level of value.
If I gossip like Shannon, I would get $100 million.
Shout out to Shannon.
If I wanted to become the number one gossiper in the world, should have boom out here.
I was 100%, because that's unfortunately that's not only what people like, but that's what advertisers value. They don't value, because you could be a Joe Rogan and got every single person and they'll value you. You could be a political you could have a political show. If you're white, you could do a variety of different things. If you're black, you could do sports and entertainment. And if you do anything outside of that, you're on the fringe and you're an anomaly and they don't understand it. Like you see 25,000 people at InvestFest. Like I said, it ain't nothing to really understand. It's 25,000 people. It's one of the largest business events in the world. That's just a fact. They'll say like, what is it? Explain it. Because it's like, you know what I'm saying? They can't understand.
They can't fathom the idea of that.
It's not even something that they can even possibly comprehend, so that they can't even gauge the value on it, because it doesn't even make sense.
Or they can gauge the value on it, but don't want to stand next to it because it would empower you even more. And this is the other point that I want to make. Podcasters have to be better business people and stop asking for deals.
Yeah, this is true too.
You got to stop wanting to be a whore for a bigger label.
But
it's the same rap mindset that's being.
If you don't have a product, to monetize a podcast, if you don't have a product or a service that you're using, the podcast is pretty much an open commercial that you can promote different things on, which most people don't have products or services. The only way that you're going to monetize it is through advertisement.
Mistake number one: if I build a warehouse that's 26,000 square feet in McAllen, Texas, and I have no products on the shelf to sell, that's my mistake.
Yeah, I agree. I think that looking at media for what it is, number one, right? So if you're a truth teller, you might look at media because you're passionate and you want to get the truth out there. You want to speak to people that has meaning to you, that drives you. But then the business model behind that, the economics behind that, you need to have a product so they can sustain it and scale it.
Yep.
Otherwise, you're going to burn out. You're going to run out of capital at some point in time, and then you're going to have to pivot. And it wasn't that you weren't good. Is that it's not a sustainable
business model is wrong. And Rashad, you're right in your point. I just want people to develop a plan before they go into something and hope that somebody's going to give them a deal. Then when your rights get taken away, you're like, well, I didn't know this was in page 86. It's like, well, the blessing in not getting certain deals, if you have your business together, is that you get to keep all the ownership in it.
But even let's wake it up a little bit. They following the same model that rappers have followed before, where it was the goal was to get signed by a label.
Following rappers' models.
but like I had a conversation with Jim Jones when I kind of went semi-viral, but shout out to Jim when we said, like, hip hop is paraphrasing has kind of played a part in the destruction of Black America. Content is replacing hip hop. We're replacing one poison with another, because the vast majority of content creators, they're not adding any value to the world. It's just it's actually even more harmful than hip hop, because at least hip hop, you got one album every one year or every 2 years, and the album is like 1 hour.
It's an album a week.
Every day somebody's coming out with an album, and it's like 2 hours and 1 hour and 45 minutes. And my timeline has more content than it does music. And I think that's a direct correlation that hip hop has had the worst year that it's had in 20 years, not been on the charts for like 40 weeks. I think that's a direct correlation to content taking over, and people are listening to content more than they're listening to music. But the content is not better than the music. The content is the same negative influence, the same toxicity as the music has. So we're replacing one poison for another. High level conversations, of course. You talk about Market Mondays, Earn Your Leisure, even Blackout. We have valuable conversations, but these are outliers. In the grand scheme of things. The vast majority of people that's making content that's extremely popular in our community are talking about gossip, are talking about 50-50 relationship. They're talking about sports, and they're talking about rap, and they have gambling advertisements, and they have marijuana deals, a liquor deal. So it really ain't no better. Like it's the same thing.
The same shit. And niggas try to sprinkle in some Black liberation conversation as if that
to offset the dick pills and the liquor ads.
Niggas ain't slick. They ain't slick. You know what I'm saying? It's like, let's be honest, like 90% of creators are sellouts. They don't actually have that much integrity and value. And a lot of people talked a lot about rappers, and then everybody else went and did the same thing. You made a deal with the devil as well. Let's be honest with it. Like every time we're selling gambling to our people, it's a deal with the devil. Like there's no other way to cut this. We can dress it up as, however you want it to make it sound, but you're selling poison to a people that's already poisoned. You know what I mean? We already sick, and that's not what we need. But of course, you're in survival mode, selling shit to people that's going to keep them in survival mode.
Yep.
Right. And so it's a dangerous game. And that's why, having integrity in this game is tough. Right. Like somebody, I tweeted out. This
should be so crazy. They have a whole show about complete, stupid, dumb shit. And there'll be 3 ads for the show: liquor, gambling, and weed.
Because that's what the show is for.
Yeah.
The show is just to sell that. So you actually have to keep the audience dumb to keep. If you start talking about self-improvement, how you gonna sell me gambling at the same time? You know what I mean? How you gonna talk about mental health and then sell gambling at the same time? How do these things correlate and line up? Right? Then go sell me fructose syrups, drinks, and liquor, and all of these high inflammation foods. Yet we talking about health. These things do not match. There's a misalignment. That's why this shit just is entertainment. When I hear people talking about this, it don't mean nothing, right? It's at a high level. Black America is ran by the boule, then is ran by the media, right? But we don't control or own any of those things, right? Like, so you never seen me at any of the award shows getting awards from none of these boule organizations, right? Why not? I know that for a fact that I've executed and hit any of the numbers and whatever they can
metrics that are needed.
We've made that, but they know that my platform can be controlled and used. And it's not saying that everybody that gets an award, right, is just being used by the machine, because sometimes they got to hit quotas and keep a couple real ones in there, right? But the thing is, you know, and we talked about this offline, Shadi, about like the roots, right? So I wasn't particularly pissed off at the roots, but it just reminded me, I've been doing this thing for like 10 years strong, right? And I've never been recognized by a Black organization, right? And all of these most of them don't even actually have any real reach in the first place, right? They're just rappers for white advertisement, right? So that they can get their money off. And they act like they're Black. They act like they for the people. And I know for a fact it's not that you're hitting from their algorithm, because the people who own it follow me, right? It's the fact that they don't think that you're controllable enough. They don't think that you're digestible for white executive in white America, which you can't claim to be for liberation of Black people and push all of these so-called ideas, but you're afraid, right? And to have certain representation on your platform. So for me, I think that the youth need to rebel. The youth need to see these old institutions and say, fuck them, right? We just in that era right now where
which the streamers are doing anyway. Yep.
Right. And stop being okay with a little validation, because that shit was set up by the system to always need external validation instead of internal. We've been living a life to where we've been doing a lot of meaningless shit. People always ask me, Keys, what do you do? That's because you're looking for my task and my title. That shit was created by industrial capitalism to control niggas. You know what I mean? I live off meaning and identity and purpose. So the things that I do, the frameworks that I create, the impact that we have across the globe, you're never going to fit me inside of one of these boxes that you need to compartmentalize to understand, right? And you shouldn't be living that way in the first place. So I think that, and we have all of the tools. We got all the fucking AI we need right now. We have all of the tech. That's your budget, right? It's really finding some goddamn clarity. Stop over consuming, because when you over consume, it kills your imagination. You know what I mean? Now you can't think of nothing because that part of the brain is cut off completely. And so all of this content ain't worth nothing. For the Black America, I'm speaking to y'all because I know that's most of the audience. Create. This is our time to create. Whatever they putting out, fuck what they putting out. The gossip, the entertainment niggas, the niggas who go act like they fours, but not fours, just have a small quota. None of that shit matter. The turkey giveaways, the Christmas toy giveaways, I'm going to be 100. None of that shit matters. You ain't really for the liberation of your people and taking white dollars and giving a little bit back to your community. That's nothing when you're the same person that's suffocating them from actually thriving in the first place. Like, at some point in time, we just got to be real about what reality is. Capitalist controls niggas. They're not being themselves. They claim to believe in God, claim to be Christians, and doing everything against Jesus as they can. You looking for the Antichrist, go look in the fucking mirror.
Damn. Okay.
Okay.
But I agree. 1,000%.
That is a fact.
Yeah, man, I'm trying to get frustrated with this shit, man. I believe that, you know, the people that should be the most important, we know that it's on. Like I went to Uganda, right? And I was having a conversation with their president, and I know how controversial that president is. That's a whole nother story. I tell that. But one thing that came out of the conversation, we was talking about economic bridges, and you really start thinking about Black America and who we are. Like, no matter what, Black America has given consciousness to the global diaspora. Most of all of these movements come from our intellect, yet they try to tell us we don't have culture and we don't know where we're from. Yet the very script of liberation in which you're building, right, your talking points come from us, right? But then when you look at it, we supposedly represent 14% of the population, but we influence 70% of pop culture. Africa as a GDP is probably around 3.5 billion. or trillion rather, according to the stats on Africa. Now there's probably 44, 50 trillion in the ground. That's a different conversation.
Mm-hmm.
But we're looking at Black America. It's the 15th largest nation in the world if we're looking at it based on our actual buying power, somewhere around 1.8 and continues to go higher and higher. That means that we represent probably a third of Africa, right? GDP as buying power. There is no African country equivalent to Black America, right? But the problem is that we have media, we have influence, right? We have platforms, but we don't control it, right? And so what happens when we go over there, they don't see us as a business person, right? Even though that I believe that Africa won't rise without Black America. Even though we've always told that the diaspora won't rise without Africa, but when you really understand how business is done, understanding the psychology of your enemy, looking at colonization and how it's happened, that shit is deep over there and deeply entrenched. And the people that are masters of understanding this game is Black America, because we hold a duality. We understand their mind while we're holding our own, right? And so the way we do branding, culture, brand building, we've created the biggest brands in the world. We just don't own them.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They are the backbone through raw minerals and resources of the biggest companies in the world, but they are exporting raw minerals and they're getting none of that back. Right? And so now they're trying to figure out, how do we actually control supply chain? And I was thinking of it like, y'all need to just do business with us. If y'all have the raw materials and you can create vertical integration supply chain, then y'all need to be connecting with Black influence, Black platforms, because we create the hottest brands. We just got bad deals, and we will actually have the best economic partnership. Like, I'm not the person that goes to Africa and tries to find myself. I know who I am, right? I'm going over there to figure out how we do business, because actually, honestly, if you're not going over there with your full self intact and knowing who you are, you can't be valuable to nobody else. Africa is separated by tribes, languages, identity. Just to say you an African is just a broad statement, but does not pinpoint anything, right? So I believe that Black America needs to recognize our power. We don't have to ask nobody for nothing. We actually do have the influence. We have the media. We have that power. It's just that we're not demanding anything with it. We keep asking for shit, right? Like, if you want to make the Netflix deals higher, just say that. Because if they can't get Black America, then guess what? Deals have to go higher. You want more rights? But the problem is the niggas getting the deals all in conflict with each other, right? So if there's no communication on the back end, how can you unionize that influence?
Mm-hmm.
Keep more of those IP. You keep more of that, right? And I know I said, man, I like to be on Netflix, but after this, they probably won't let me on. I'm messing up negotiations right now.
Shout out to Netflix.
Why is my screen blinking?
Yeah, it's your screen blinking.
I've been going too hard.
Cut the power out. Cut the power out.
But anyway, man, I just want to. Black America is a very powerful country, right? And we need to treat it like that. And as long as they can keep us divided, we never will use our power. We have to stop allowing other people to determine how the world sees us, right? Like what InvestFest does and Market Mondays and a bunch of other peers. We did see that stat where they said from 2020 there was a growth in Black wealth from 60%. Nobody's gonna give that credit over here. Nobody's gonna say, "Oh, what y'all doing is working," but that should be celebratory in the community.
Absolutely.
Right? So that more people want to do it. Like, we let stuff like that pass, while at the same time, how many people promoted that stat that in 2053 we have no wealth? That was the report going everywhere.
Yep.
But when they said that Black wealth is growing, people are starting investment accounts. People are learning stock and crypto and buying assets. And then we know the underlying of that has to be financial literacy, but there is no conversation. Oh, it shows you this intentionality, right? To where, or a lack of intentionality. When things are going right, we don't promote them. But when things go wrong, we become evangelists.
What's the game plan for 2026? Give us a solution.
Woo. My brother Ian don't be playing, be cutting to it, man.
Let's get right to it.
So I built out a platform called Zion, right? So we have members all across. And the goal was the first, because people was asking me, like, won't you do a 1,000,000-man march? First of all, I'm not Farrakhan, right? But number two, if we can't organize online, what makes us think we're going to organize offline, right? I just don't believe it. So the goal was to create a digital nation, right? Where you have infrastructure inside of that digital nation that becomes an economy. And then we can invest and build things together in real time, right? Like, everything that we dreamed of, from blockchain to AI, all of that stuff is now in existence. It's no longer theory, right? Like this is the time where talking will not be as valuable, right? Building will be, because we no longer have to leave anything inside of our imagination. So for me, it's building out this platform. As you were saying about the business models when it comes to media, I want to continue to be a force in media, but a force multiplier times 100, right? The goal is building out family offices. I'll talk to you all about that on the back end of things. It's a whole nother conversation of things that's already wrong. Nothing I'm talking about is in theory anymore, in practice. Global business. This is a borderless world. Stop thinking there are borders, right? There's a Black community everywhere in the world, and we don't talk. Right. The beauty of when I travel and I'm able to do tours, because there is a Black community everywhere. Right. And so we're able to make sure that we're connecting those lines. But the problem is happening is that we know of each other, but we're not connected. There's no infrastructure behind it. I don't think unity will ever come about unless there's infrastructure that automates that unity. Right. And so now we're in that time, day and age where we can automate that. So I think that we should be focusing on building new systems all 2026. One of the things that's dying is that people don't know what to do going forward for 2026. There was a report that came out said that venture capitalists are not just looking for businesses that have AI, right, in their business model and their plan. They're looking for businesses that replace jobs, right? So specifically job replacement.
Yeah.
So what does that mean for people? Well, America was built off when J.D. Rockefeller looked at industrial capitalism, right? And he said that the reason we need a nation of workers is because otherwise we want to have stagnant growth. Who's going to actually work in these industries? How can America compete with the rest of the world? So we don't need a bunch of people thinking in an intellectual class. We need to herd people into a model that allows them to then come work for us so that we can become a behemoth giant in the world. So who did he hire? He hires Horace Mann. Horace Mann is known as the father of education. Horace Mann went where? Where did he get his model from? He got his from Prussia, right? The Prussian nation at the time, he looked at them because they had discipline, right? They focused on memorization. They focused on all of the things. They imported that to America, and they focused on two cognitive types, analytical, mathematical, right? They was not trying to help people enhance their intelligence and reward those type of intelligences in any other area. So you got a bunch of kids that you thought was smart because they can memorize answers, when true intelligence was the one who comes up with the questions. So the elites took their children out of those schools, and they said, we're going to focus on making sure that our children have the ability to lead, right? And so now what we have is we have a world of people that don't know what to do because they're living a life that doesn't match the way their mind works, right? I'm a person that can synthesize information, right? So therefore, influence looks like translation. People want to know what's going on, and the clearer you can translate that for them, right? That's what makes you valuable in today's time. Storytelling is valuable for that reason as well, because people don't know what the hell going on, and we need narration. That's why all these companies are hiring for storytellers right now. But the question is, can we tell our own story? Can we practice narrative warfare like everybody else? And so I've learned after studying myself, like I'm twice gifted, right? I'm not a person that works inside a system. I'm a person that works on building our own system. And those people have been starved out, told that they have ADHD, told that they're neurodivergent.
Yeah.
Because you were trying to force to fit inside a model based on Prussian education for industrial capitalism to create a nation of workers. But now America is going to be stagnant because we have all these tools, can't compete with the world because we don't have a nation of thinkers, right? And so 2026 is going to shift where people are going to have to learn their cognitive type. People are going to have to start developing out their imagination. But how can you do that when you're over consuming and that part of the brain is shut down, right? And so this is the year of storytelling. This is the year of building. People wanted to build apps their whole entire life. Now you can go build one by going to goddamn Gemini at any point in time, or using Perplexity or anti-gravity. Right? Anti-gravity is goddamn great. You type in whatever you want to and it gets done. Right? All the tools are in existence. The question is, where are the architects? Where are the builders today? New business models will have to pop up, things that don't even exist right now. So don't look for what is, right? Ask yourself the question, what can be? So for me, I'm focusing on helping people with mental development, because I think if you can scale your mind, you can scale wealth, because you can actually customize your world based on the way your mind works. How should you create content? If you stick a camera in my face and say, keys talk, give me a key, I'm not going to be good at that. But if you ask me a question because my mind is activated by inquiry, right? My mind just go flow with it, right? Much easier. And that comes from me studying myself. So people need to take self-assessments to understand how their mind works, then build a business model around that. We need to look at every system and say, what kind of system do I want to imagine? And then build that. The problem is if I tell you exactly what to do, I will cripple you. You will try to remember that and fit your actions into this box. What I'm focusing on is helping you think so you know what to do from there. Black imagination has never led the nation, right? And it's time for us to build our own world. So it sounds like I'm saying broad statements because I am, but in the sense that that is the marching orders, right? Build, build, build. Like, why are we trying to fit inside other people, companies, institutions, and get better deals when we literally have every tool to give ourselves?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Well, Keys, man, always a pleasure, man. Tell people about Supermind Coffee and everything else, like where to find you and all that information.
Oh, yeah, man. Supermind is my baby right now, man. I've been working on this. I love it. Because again, as we talk about cognition, I've been studying this so deep. I was trying not to go too deep with y'all because I know this is blackout. You feel me? But the science is just flowing in me right now. So
with the blackout, that's part of blackout. That's
for sure.
My bad. I didn't mean to dumb y'all down. My bad.
That's what they want to do. You don't got to do it to us. They want to do it.
My bad, brother. My bad. I was in Uganda trying to find a supply source, right? Because as we're scaling, we need a greater source. This is a cognitive wellness and longevity company. Everything is about boosting, right, your mental well-being, giving you rituals of intelligence so you can flow, especially in this chaotic world. So we have functional coffee, functional drinks. We have our functional chocolates. These are good as an aphrodisiac or a pre-workout, really good for you. And right now, we're just sourcing the best ingredients for the world for our people. So I wake up every morning. I have my coffee with Keys. I drink my coffee, get my cognitive boost just to get started. Then later on, I have my tea. You understand me? Because I don't want that anxiety and the cortisol levels to spike. So he helps with that later on throughout the day. So I would just, if y'all could support, you know what I mean, and tapping into this cognitive renaissance that we building, activating these third spaces. Oh, me, Cloudy Donuts is my favorite content. 7 Streams is my favorite content.
For sure. Yeah, listen. Shout out to Derek. Inspiration every day.
So inshallah, me and Derek been talking about doing a collaboration, right? We've been talking about doing some pop-ups. So look out for that coming very soon. You know what I mean? Shout out to my brother. Salute to him. The rest of it is, you know, we focus on building out, you know, greater models for what the future of education is, because I think the whole world needs to kind of go through a relearning process.
Absolutely.
So building out that infrastructure, I'll talk to both of you all. Well, probably Shy, because Ian don't really answer the phone. Like,
when the last time you called me?
But I'm not a person that quits. You watched that video I went viral years ago, and you took it to heart. That's what happens. The call me, and I'm still.
That's funny. I'm looking right now, though.
We have a couple of tour dates left. So, you know, but my whole thing with touring now is I'm not trying to do a bunch of touring. I'm trying to do real meaningful and just create real inner circles. And I'm looking for partnerships with people that are already building things. I see Ian that posted, like, have your MVP, have something already built.
Yeah, no more ideas. I don't want to hear no ideas. Have it working.
Yeah, it should be flowing. It should be execution. I think that I'm actually seeing less collaboration, right? Because they keep telling us that we're going to build $1 billion company by ourselves. And people are actually buying into that model. And maybe it'll be possible, but I think it's terrible for humanity, right? Less collaboration, less connection, less job creation. That's
tougher for us too.
Yeah. Right. And so we should be actually do the opposite of that. When you're great at building out a tool and that's the way your mind works, and the person is good at front-facing influence or a platform, figure out how these things can go together, because I promise you, you're going to be able to 100x. I think next year is not a 10x year, it's a 100x year for the people that are focused and intentional, right? So Black America, let's build. That's the message. But you can find me at 19 Keys on all platforms. Make sure you find a real one, not the Nigerian.
You funny. I appreciate you. I'm going to call you this week too. I owe you a call.
Yes.
It's been too long.
All right, my brother. Appreciate it, man.
To the family. Peace to the guys.
Yes, sir. Okay.
I love Keys, yo. That's my guy. One of the
Never a
most
dull
honorable
moment.
people ever.
Never a dull moment.
Never. Mm-hmm. And shout out to Derek Falcon too. That same. Every day I'm looking. I'm like, well, what are you talking about today?
7 streams.
Mm-hmm. Derek, a good dude.
Yeah, no, he doing his thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 2026. Don't bring me no ideas. Bring me MVP. Something that's coded, something that's functional. I don't want to brainstorm no more about nothing. If we can't talk about it and have that shit running in a week, I'm not interested. Speed of execution matters a whole lot. A whole lot. It is time to build and execute really, 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 really fast. So nothing personal. We can stay friends, but on the business side, I don't want to brainstorm.
Let's talk about this. The Swagg Gap.
Okay.
So there was a write up in the Wall Street Journal about the Swagg Gap, and pretty much what it was saying is that there's a amongst millennials and even younger Gen. What's the generation under millennial? Gen Z.
Yeah.
There's been a tremendous fall off in appearance in relationship, mainly men and women. Meaning, a woman will wear like a dress, high heels, and a guy come out in Crocs, and oversized t-shirt. So they were saying that that's actually causing awkwardness, relationship issues, and it's become a whole thing. So that's a real thing though, from both perspectives. But I guess most of the time it's more the men that may be
underdressed.
Swag is not matched. You gotta be equally. I say equally yoked. You gotta be equally swagged.
Yeah.
Right. Because that's awkward. Like if you dress to the nine and then somebody got Crocs on, that's
What if they were super busy? And awkward things can happen, or it's happened to me before. The fucking luggage gets stolen, and then now you gotta wait 2 days for them to go through your bags before
that's an exception to the rule. But I'm just saying, like if you going out
like on purpose, that's crazy.
If you going out with somebody and you dressed a certain way and they come out with, this happened to me before.
Me too.
Somebody comes out with sweatpants on a first date, or like their hair is like halfway done.
Oh, they did the half bun, with the little chopstick thing. Go, nah. What you do in that situation? You send them home or what? Or you just fire them in your brain and act like
hey, order whatever you want. Order lobster because this is the last.
This is the last go round.
Last supper.
Yeah, it's over with.
Last supper. So like, I'm saying, enjoy it. Enjoy it while you can, because this is take
it to go. Mm-hmm.
This is overly done.
Yeah.
Because what it means to me is that you don't respect me enough to try. Because how I look at it, you dressed to impress.
Or going back to what we talked about earlier, other people probably let her get away with it.
Yeah, but you should still know better.
Mm-hmm.
As
most don't. Like TK Kirkland said, "Who raised you?" A lot of these people were not raised from the same cloth we were cut from, and how our parents guided us.
But I've heard like women talking about they ended relation, like because they like, yo, I went out, this dude had sweats on, like like it's embarrassing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a real thing. The Swagg Gap.
I'm talking about dressy occasions too, for sure. Wedding. Don't count my little snafu that I had at Tabiti's wedding. That was an accident. But I've seen it happen for sure.
Nah. But then I don't know, but a lot of dudes can't dress. A lot of dudes have no fashion sense at all. So that goes back to I know women that dress men. They'll dress them like, yo,
for sure.
All right, no, this is what you
put this together.
This is what you're going to wear. Like, because dudes they might have never wore a suit before. So they don't really know how to swag it and do that. It's awkward. That's kind of common actually, especially like old school. Like even if you think about like your uncles and your aunts and stuff like that, that's common. Like a lot of dudes were not into fashion, had no fashion sense at all, and the woman had to like, don't embarrass me. This is what
really?
You don't think so?
I mean, I know it happens more now. Back in the day, I feel like it happened less though.
I feel like there was not. I mean, because you got two type of people. You got the old school like smooth dude, but then you got the old school. Just every not like he might just worked at General Motors and the lunch pail. He didn't care. They cared about football. They cared about cars. They didn't care about clothes, or dressing.
That's
like
interesting.
They didn't even know. Like, you know what I'm saying, that wasn't. So they have like that one tie. They have one tie.
Oh, that's crazy.
The one suit.
The one suit, yeah.
The one suit, whether it's a funeral, or a wedding, or a baptism. It's the same suit. Everybody. Easter, wedding, funeral suit. It's
one universal suit.
It's a universal suit.
I'm just lucky. Like in my family,
with the shirt that's too big, with the collar. That's like 2 sizes actually too big. So when you wear it, it looks like the collar is like hanging off, like it's like 2 inches off your neck. Like you haven't seen that before. You haven't seen. You don't know those type of people. You didn't see those type of people growing up.
I'm trying to enjoy my Christmas. It's just not in my family. But yeah, I've seen it. Well, what a wife a little bit more demonstrative and talking down about, for sure. I'm just lucky in my family that the men in my family dress well, so I have to go through that. So,
oh man,
yeah.
But yeah, the swag thing could definitely be embarrassing. But I think it's even more embarrassing for when a woman doesn't meet the standard. That's kind of rare. Usually, it's the other way around. The man's not meeting the standard.
Yeah,
but if you go on places and a woman
she don't care about you. Oh, I've seen this too. The girl don't have her hair crazy, and she's taking off her nails and shit at the restaurant.
Oh no, that's
it's over with, my boy.
Have you ever seen somebody go to a restaurant and ask for a hot water to dip their
wash their hands,
the utensils?
Oh no, I ain't seen that one.
You ain't seen that before? You ever seen that before? I've seen that twice. I've seen that twice. I've seen that twice. Like, yo, I don't eat off of, and it's not.
I don't blame them.
It's not completely wrong from a sanitary standpoint. I don't blame them. But it also is extremely embarrassing. Also, it's not wrong. It's not.
At that point, you just need to go to the little company and bring your utensils with you. At that point, if it's
I've seen somebody that comes with plastic.
Come on, plastic, crazy, yo.
Come on, like, yo, I don't eat. Like I said, that's not completely wrong but my thing is
the microplastic crazy.
Don't go to a restaurant.
Don't go to a restaurant. Bring your own cutlery.
Or
I know some people do that.
Bring their own cutlery to a restaurant. To a nice restaurant.
Yes, that shit not cheap either. Like some of them pieces be like $1,600 for that cutlery.
And like I said, I get it, because if you really think about it, it is
unsanitary.
You don't even want to think about it, right? Because it's like, they get dropped on the floor. You got the dude that's, he's just scarfing.
They're not cleaning them the best,
coughing on it and all that. So I get it, but it is highly embarrassing also.
Yeah, it's a classy way to do that, and kind of but to bring like plastic forks to a restaurant, I gotta go. I'm sorry.
Or ask for plastic.
That may be even worse.
Ask for plastic. You at the that's the COVID special. You go to a restaurant and you say, "Oh, can you give me plastic, please?"
That's crazy.
To go. Cutlery.
You finished your Christmas shopping yet?
I don't celebrate Christmas. So
you and Ish, boy.
Ish.
You and Ish, boy. I'm gonna get on y'all wave next year. It's good because you got to start telling them in April.
You can't just.
I don't celebrate no pagan holidays. Smart.
You know what? It's a very liberating feeling, because it's a lot of pressure if you're trying to buy gifts, because you don't just buy gifts for one person. And then you always forget somebody. You're gonna forget a nephew, a niece.
It never fails.
A third cousin.
And but they all be in a group chat comparing to.
But if you don't get gifts for anybody,
smart man.
Then nobody feels slighted.
Yeah.
Everybody's treated equally.
You're a smart man, bro. You're a great investor.
Did you finish your Christmas shopping?
No, sir.
Have you started it?
Oh, of course.
How many people are you getting gifts for?
6, 7. I don't know. Probably 7.
7 people.
Probably like 7, 8. Yeah. Oh, next year though, I'm gonna pull your move. Put in comment what's the month that Jesus was actually born on for my devout Christians. Who
That's the
actually
crazy part about it. The crazy part about it is that, and not even going down this rabbit hole, it's very well documented that he was not born December 25th or in December at all. That's documented.
Not even the right season.
And it is also documented why December 25th was chosen, because it was a pagan holiday, and part of the agreement that the Romans made with the people at the time was that we'll incorporate some of your beliefs so we can, but it has nothing to, it literally has nothing to do with the birth of Jesus Christ at all.
Yeah.
Not even a little bit.
Yeah. But American capitalism at its finest.
Yeah. But that's the thing. Like, I just celebrate the holiday and just say like it's a time for families get together,
enjoy each other. Yep.
Yeah, don't say it's because we're celebrating the birth of Jesus Christ. He was not born on December 25th.
People worship Santa Claus more than they do Jesus on Christmas. Hot take, but it's true.
And Santa Claus was made red because of Coca-Cola.
Hello.
It used to be green.
American capitalism at its finest.
At its finest. Marketing. Marketing 101.
Yep.
Marketing 101.
Yep. Taking them likenesses and rebranding them, that's one of the best exercises in corporate America. They always get off.
100%.
The Easter Bunny and Ishtar, like go do your Googles on a few of these things. But fellas, you better finish your shopping.
That's another thing. Easter at one point in time it's a 45-day window that Easter can fall in. How? If it got to be a set day. It could be early March, mid-April. What like
you going into the bag of
but nobody ever questions these things.
They do. You just can't say them out loud. Yeah. Thanksgiving, St. Valentine's Day massacre. They're gonna take an atrocity and figure out how to.
That's a fact.
We killed your people. Go buy some shit from us.
100%.
Never fails.
100%. At what day? Because like even my son, his birthday is December 28th. So these late December birthdays, it's always tricky. What day do late December birthdays get bunched in and they get like it's one gift?
I don't know, but it ain't for Nas. Shout out to my boy.
No, I'm saying, but that happens a lot though. A lot of the late December birthdays, they always feel like they get slighted. Not even talking about my son, I'm just saying in general. That's a real thing. I just know because I have a few people. My brother's birthday is December 29th. Nasir's birthday is December 28th. So I'm around people that are like close to the proximity Christmas, New Year's. So I know that that's actually a thing. Where a lot of kids growing up, I've heard them say like,
for sure,
I felt slighted, or their parents didn't have enough money
to do so.
Even if they wanted to have 2 gifts, it's time.
2 different celebrations is tough, right? Yeah, and the bills coming on the 3rd.
Exactly, back to back, like that back to back is crazy. So it's like, we just do one joint. Yeah,
smart. If it's financially feasible, you can do more, but if not, don't feel that pressure. And the crazy part, most people don't even remember what they get for Christmas by February.
100%.
You got to be mindful.
But these end of year birthdays is always tricky. Like I know somebody born on December 31st.
Yeah, me too.
And they like, it's kind of sucks because you would think New Year, that's lit. Like my New Year is my birthday, but they like it. Nobody cares about your birthday. It's New Year.
Nobody celebrating.
I'm saying? It's just, and if you try to do something, the price is going to be 30x because it's New Year's. Sure. So you can't just go on a regular dinner. You can't just go on a regular club night. Like it's New Year's.
It could be worse.
It could always be worse. You could be born February 29th. Shout out to Ja Rule.
I'm born on 29th?
Yeah. I'm almost at that. I'm February 27th.
Yeah.
But that February 29th is the worst.
Leap year vibe. Whew.
February 29th is the worst birthday. Because what do? March 1st every 3 years, and then or you celebrate your birthday every 4 years, or you just choose March 1st as your actual birthday, or you choose February 28th as your actual birthday, but you were actually born on February 29th.
And they changed the whole calendar. It's 13 months. America, a tricky place, yo. They'll redesign everything in front of you and act like it never fucking happened.
That's a fact, man. Who came up with this leap year idea? Like you said, even this calendar is with 14 months. Something like the Ethiopian calendar, like there's different, but February 29th, I always felt bad for people. I never knew anybody except Ja Rule that was born on February 29th.
Yeah, me either.
But
what you think of Fun Flex taking over that one day on for Hot 97? You want to talk about the Hot 97 thing, or you want to leave it alone?
We can talk about it. Hot 97, man. They man.
Shout out to Ebro. That's my guy.
So
Laura's cool too.
But I think it just goes back to new age media, right? Like you got to be able to control. Like they got a podcast now. Shout out to them. But
go subscribe on YouTube.
I think that's the thing. That's the good thing. Like we came in a little different. So like I heard Flex and he was like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like as long as my bosses is happy, like I'm just like, yeah.
But he comes from that.
He's from the era. I can't blame him.
He come from
He's
that
from the
era.
era. He's from the era. So it's like that's all he knows. But I'm like, it's just tricky when you could just be fired at any moment. You have no equity. Dame Dash was not wrong in what he said at the Breakfast Club.
He was right. People hated how he said it, but so be it.
He wasn't wrong.
A pivotal moment in Black culture for people to start thinking, for sure, to start thinking about equity ownership. Mm-hmm. And often you can hate the messenger, but the messenger is absolutely right. Build your own. Now, if you can find a way to do a partnership, cool. But you have to build your own and figure out the business model and put time into the craft of not only being good in front of the camera, but more importantly, behind the scenes on the business end. Gotta do it. It sucks that it happens, but when you have all this consolidation and Larry Ellison and his kid, the world is consolidating because there's about to be a financial onslaught coming. And I know 50 and Ebro trying to decide who ruined hip hop culture and but the truth is those corporations don't care about our culture at all. They're trying to sell ads. You have to put some money away. Now, luckily for Ebro's a great investor. You don't got to worry about it. He could. But for the rest of you that are building, Star's another one. Great investor alongside the media personality. You have to build for a rainy day. You're not going to be hot forever. Michael Jackson was the hottest thing walking earth, and then he had a fall from grace after he got into it with some people he shouldn't have gotten into. Always prepare for a rainy day. No matter what.
No matter what. No matter what. All right, y'all.
Who should replace Ebro and Laura and Rosenberg?
In the morning? The morning show? Like, get somebody young, man. Get somebody young. Like, I feel like get somebody young. Don't get Punch in there or get like an Ivy Rivera or like I feel like there's a lot of people in New York City that have built a name for themselves. That have voices. I don't know. I just feel like it's been a long time before we had a new fresh voice on the radio. So I feel like the old guard had their day. Now let's give somebody else new a shot.
The great part about being blackballed or not accepted in certain spaces, the real island that you should be on, and you're seeing Kai do it, and you've seen us do it. Sometimes you being turned down is the ultimate blessing.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
There's plenty of people I'm like, oh, I wish we could have partnered and it don't work. And I'm like, a year later, thank God we didn't.
And earlier the better. Because, one thing, you working at a station for 30 years, now you're trying to figure out new age media. It becomes difficult. Where
it's tough.
If you got the door slammed on you at the beginning and you, now you had no choice. But
you have to build around it. Yep. Flex, it was too many bombs in the morning. I was listening. I like the energy though, but too many bombs.
Flex is a different type of guy, man.
Mm-hmm.
Different type of guy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll be back next week with the last episode of Blackout. Next week is actually the last episode of everything for the year.
Yep.
Last Market Mondays, last Earn Your Leisure, last Blackout. And then we're taking the last week of the year off.
For sure.
But fear none. We will be back the first week of January. So yeah, we'll be back January 5th with new programming.
Do you think he get his family back together in Michigan?
Oh nah, he done.
That's a tough Christmas, bro.
Got double bunnied. First in history. He made Black history. He actually made Black history, potentially.
It's been the last 2 years have been very telling about Black men's discipline, but also being set up through lust. That's the lesson of the year.
And never threaten, because the suicide thing has happened for a long time. That's been a go-to for a lot of men. Like, I'm gonna kill myself if you don't take me back. I'm gonna kill myself. He's not the first person that has done that.
Yeah,
but
that's crazy though.
Don't do that.
Don't
threaten violence on yourself or others to save a relationship. Don't go out like that. You're gonna go out
with a blaze of glory.
Go out with some dignity. Have some pride. If anything, at least leave with your pride. He lost everything, including his pride.
Yes. Crazy.
Like I said, at least bro from the Celtics went out with some level of dignity. You ain't see him on his knees crying and like
bounce back. Yep.
Like, I got jammed up, my bad. Took some time off, came back, and now he's fucking coach of the year contender with the Rockets.
For sure. Yeah.
But he'll be back. I think that this dude will be back. He'll be coaching at Perry View A&M. No disrespect, but he'll get.
Yeah, they'll let him be in the HBCU or something.
He'll get a job, and then he can work his way back up the ranks.
You think so?
Gotta take time. This criminal thing. I don't know. I gotta see
if he could be, and even if it's not true, just sometime the headline will kill the reputation before the truth come out. You breaking into somebody's house and threatening to harm them and yourself.
It got to be a low-level power. It got to be like a Rutgers. It got to be like a school that's not there, but has the potential to be there. Speaking of that, Indiana going for the national championship. Nobody thought that Indiana would be at this position 3 years ago. It's about being at the right school
at the right time.
At the right time.
Yeah.
But yeah, Indiana, they got a shot to make history.
That would be crazy. Shout out to everybody in Bloomington.
Think they're gonna do it?
No.
You don't think they're gonna do it?
I don't think so. The moment may be too big. I hope so. But
who think's gonna win?
I have no clue.
But not Indiana.
I just think sometimes the moment can be too big, and sometimes when you have such a darling season, it doesn't always end up how you want it to be. But kudos for an amazing season. He got Heisman. That's absolutely incredible. Program Rocking's going to be set for the next 5 or 6 years. I hope they do. I hope I'm wrong, totally wrong about this, but I wonder if the moment and those lights would be too big. And I don't like a team that only has one loss or so going into a championship situation. That usually don't work out well.
Yeah, and they undefeated, so yeah.
Yeah, that shit is like there's some value in getting some bumps and bruises along the way, because you know how to recalibrate. I don't want you recalibrating in a championship situation. We saw it with the Patriots. Like, we've seen it plenty of times in high school, college basketball. It's an eerie feeling to just sweep the table. Something usually goes wrong.
No, 100%. You're right.
So, but I hope they pull it off.
All right, y'all. It's been real. We'll see you next week.
Short episodes next week, too. For the record. What you think about the video? Nothing. See you January.
Oh yeah, the market meltdown
for sure.
I
hope you have a 2,000 point drop. Boy, I'm off. Sorry, told you. Oh, stock club. Some of them prices hit too. So get in. Price John, keep dropping.
Check Telegram
ASAP.
All right.
Thank y'all for coming out. God bless. Good night. Russell, you need to stop.
He said, "I've been paying $50,000 a month for 20 years.
That's
That's crazy.
mistake.
That's crazy." He said, "I paid you $50,000 a month every month for 20 years."
And see, she's talking to you how she actually felt about you. That's a lot of coin, my boy. It's a lot of coin. She said, go address your accusers. Ain't that much love in the world, bro. It's a lot of wild shit in the music business, if we talk honestly one day.
But until then, see you.
And if you move
tomorrow.
foul, you need to stop moving foul. There's a few of y'all about to have some documentaries out. You better chill out.
Please.
You better chill out.
Please. All right, y'all. Peace.
50 a month for 20 years?
That's a lot.
I've never had no sex that good, bro. I ain't even gonna hold you. For 20 years?
20 years. Never
What?
missed tomorrow.
That's outside of the alimony and child support? That's just like...
No, I think that's the package.
Oh, okay.
That has to be the package. That has to be the package.
Wow. How much them Andrew bombs cost? Warhawk 9.